Hi, you're listening to a student-focused episode of the Sociology Show podcast. If you're studying the subject at GCSE, A-level, foundation, degree, or any other discipline, then this podcast could be of help to you. If you have a question for the show, then you can email the Sociology Show podcast at gmail.com, and one of the teachers, lecturers, examiners, or experts will answer your question for you. You can sponsor the show on the GoFundMe page and subscribe on all the usual podcast platforms. If you're going to class, going to the gym, or just chilling, put your headphones in and let's be sociology geeks together, eh? Hello and welcome to the Sociology Show. The Sociology Show podcast is brought to you in association with Tutor2You Sociology, the exam performance specialist for A-level and GCSE sociology students and teachers. And so you can visit the website, which is tutor2you.net/sociology. And there you can pick up revision guides, flashcards, revision videos, and everything else that you need for your A-level or GCSE sociology studies. And so this episode, it's student takeover time. And this entry was sent to me by Louise Bowden, who's a teacher at Cokethorpe School. And she has sent to me a recording, which is a piece of work researched, written and recorded by a class of lower sixth sociology students. And they are from Cokethorpe School in Oxfordshire. And the students are Sophia May, Caitlyn Alford, Todeschini, Issy Stagg, Annabelle Vallance, Edith Wannell, and Heidi Robertson. And they've worked hard putting together a podcast all about different areas of inequality, talking in particular about the issues of social class, gender and ethnicity, and they've also linked it to the inequalities that have been faced due to the pandemic. So thank you very much for this one. Likewise, if you would like your work showcased on the Sociology Show, you can do exactly as their teacher, Louise, has done and send me a sound file, or students, if you're listening, you can send a sound file direct to me as well. Just send it to the Sociology Show podcast at gmail.com. In the meantime, let's listen to the student takeover. This is an entrance from the Cokethorpe School, Lower Sixth. Thank you very much. Enjoy.
Hello everyone, we are very excited to be contributing to the Student Takeover. We are a Lower Sixth Sociology class based in Oxfordshire, and today we're going to talk about different areas of inequalities and which is the most damaging.
Our first question we are going to discuss is, how has the global pandemic affected different areas of inequality? What do you think, Sophia?
I believe gender is the most influential factor of inequality.
That's interesting. Why do you think that?
COVID has impacted the lives of many people, but especially women. Women's jobs are 1.8 times more likely to be vulnerable to the crisis than men's jobs. They make up 39% of global employment, but 54% of overall job loss.
As well as this, the virus has dramatically increased the level of unpaid care. This is disproportionately carried out by women. This implies that women are at a significant risk in comparison with men due to the pandemic.
Does anyone have a different opinion?
Well, actually, I think that class inequalities have also been heavily impacted by the pandemic. For example, people in lower classes with less opportunities have to go to work and are more at risk compared to people who are more affluent that have been able to stay at home on full pay. ONS data on the rates of deaths per 100,000 shows that people in low-paid jobs are more likely to die from coronavirus. This suggests that lower classes can't afford to quarantine, which leads to them being more vulnerable, and this is out of their control.
Despite this, ethnic minorities experienced more racism in the pandemic. For example, Chinese people across the world were discriminated against for apparently starting the virus. 34% of COVID-19 admissions to intensive care were for ethnic minority groups. This shows that they were treated with prejudice simply due to their ethnic identity.
Okay, so our next question that we are going to be discussing is, what do the different theorists believe about the different aspects of inequality?
Liberal feminists such as Anne Oakley suggest that we socialise our children into gender roles within the family. She states that we do this through manipulation, encouraging gender-appropriate behaviours, and canalisation, channeling toys and activities such as dolls for girls and cars for boys.
In support of this, Marxist feminist Feely states that the family also teaches children to submit to patriarchy and not to rebel against gender roles. This shows that primary socialisation has a big impact on later life inequalities.
Caitlyn, do you want to go next?
Well, Edith, postmodernists would say that people with lower status receive less opportunities with lower skilled and lower paid jobs. This shows that there is discrimination towards people in lower class, such as the underclass, resulting in them living in poverty or off benefits. Also, Marxists say that people living in capitalist society earn low wages, so that the richest people in society make profits, which contribute to the capitalist system. As Marx would argue, this has led to the polarisation of classes.
So that's gender and class. What about the impact on ethnicity? Izzy, what are your thoughts?
Functionalists argue that ethnic inequalities experienced by immigrants were the product of their cultural difference and their low level of skills. They argue that ethnic minorities need to adopt the norms and values of mainstream society so they can be accepted into British culture. This shows that ethnic minorities are not accepted for their differences, but instead forced to assimilate.
How do you think individuals are affected by inequalities within the workplace?
This is an area that gender inequality is prolific. 95% of the 200 people killed in the workplace per year are men. This is because men tend to have more dangerous and undesirable jobs. So, whilst men do experience inequalities, women also face prejudice within the workplace.
For example, 30,000 women are fired yearly for being pregnant, and self-employed women earn 40% less than self-employed men. Weber suggests that women face a glass ceiling in the workplace. This means they can only get to a certain status in the workplace hierarchy, despite being able to see the top jobs.
However, Davidson argues that even though white women face a glass ceiling, ethnic minority women face a concrete ceiling, where they are completely blind to any higher career prospects. This suggests that ethnic minorities are facing even further discrimination within the workplace than gender alone.
In most workplaces, there is a hierarchy of occupations, with high status jobs not only enjoying more pay but also a number of other advantages. For example, Marxists argue that, as well as disadvantaged people earning low wages, there are also inequalities in relation to a variety of other types of rewards in the workplace,
such as opportunity for advancement, in which people in professional jobs are able to move up to higher positions, whereas people in manual jobs remain stationary. As a result, there are many inequalities in the workplace regarding class.
So that brings us towards the end of our student takeover. We have covered 3 main points of inequalities. We have concluded that by taking Sylvia Walby's approach, we may deem this question unanswerable. Many areas of inequality manifest themselves in combination with other areas. For example, we cannot understand the experience of an ethnic minority female without understanding the ethnic and gender inequalities they may face. As a generation, we have become more observant to these inequalities, and through the development of digital technologies, we have been able to campaign for social justice.
The Sociology Show podcast relies on the kind contributions of sponsorship and donations. If you enjoy the show, then you can help with the hosting costs by donating as little as £5 on the GoFundMe page. Simply visit uk.gofundme.com and search for the Sociology Show. If you can donate, then you will be sent a Sociology Show pen as a small thank you for your continued support of the show.